Welcome back to Boar's Physical Media Rant. I'm Vanessa and he's Charles. Don't forget to like our video. It lets us know that you actually like the content that we are putting out. It also helps YouTube algorithm get more of our videos out there for people like you and people like us. Don't forget to comment down below and keep subscribing. Well, we do have another movie review for you, and yes, it is from Scream Factory. It is the 4K of Death Becomes Her. Here's the front. Here is your spine. Here is the back. And the front, the spine, and the back. And there is disc artwork. So this movie is starring Meryl Streep, Bruce Willis, and Goldie Hawn. So this movie is pretty much about Meryl Streep's character and Goldie Hawn's character, who they're like friends, but they're also rivals. They can't get along at all, and they end up taking this potion to make them feel younger and look younger, that they have to make sure that they take care of their bodies, or they could, have bone protruding out of their skin or whatever. So they have to, obviously take care of their bodies, because once they take this potion, that's it. There's no healing, there's no nothing. Well, Bruce Willis's character actually originally was with Goldie Hawn's character, and he was a plastic surgeon at the time, a really good plastic surgeon, and they went to go see a play with Meryl Streep in it. And he obviously fell in love with Meryl Streep and and ends up leaving Goldie Hawn for Meryl Streep and marries her, and their relationship was a very toxic relationship, and he lost his license of being a plastic surgeon, and now he works at a funeral home. Out of all three characters, Bruce Willis's character is the only character to not take the potion.
Yeah, this movie's been out a while.
Yes.
But I wanted to explain each different character to kind of let them know. It's a very weird movie. It's a Robert Zemeckis film. His movies are kind of off the wall anyways. But Bruce Willis is very weird in this movie.
He's a drunk.
Yeah, he's definitely a drunk. Goldie Hawn, I have to say, that is the star of this movie. I get a kick out of that woman.
Yeah.
And a tidbit we found out last night, when they're in the emergency room on the TV, Kurt Russell is on getting an interview on the news there.
You have to pause it, but it is when they're in the emergency room and Bruce Willis's character runs out of the room trying to find the doctor, because Meryl Streep has no heartbeat because she's dead. And if you go out to the lobby where he sees the people with the tennis racket and he's all bloodied up, if you look at the TV and pause it, you will see Kurt Russell right there.
There are certain parts of this movie that was funny. I'm not a big fan of this movie. It's more her.
Yeah, this is my movie.
It's not bad. I like Bruce Willis and Goldie Hawn. I cannot stand Meryl Streep. That is one woman I do not like, but she did a good job in this. I just never cared for that woman. It seems like every movie we watch, Meryl Streep's in it.
He's like, dang it.
But I wondered, Bruce Willis left Goldie Hawn for that. I'm like,
yeah, but in the beginning of it, Goldie Hawn's character was very, I'm trying to think of the word. She was very, put together. She didn't show a whole lot of skin. She was very conservative. That was the word I was looking for.
I have more respect for her.
Yes. And then you see Meryl Streep, and she didn't. She's in lingerie with a robe, oh, look at me, I'm so sexy. And he's like, no.
Well, it was an entertaining movie. Had entertaining moments. Goldie Hawn, like I said, was the star of the movie, I think, in my mind. Bruce Willis was entertaining he was drunk the whole movie, more or less.
I did like the banter back and forth between Goldie Hawn and
The way
Meryl
them two
Streep.
kept fighting with one another.
Like throughout the whole movie, really.
Yeah, that was a cool part of it. But let's get on to special features.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, your first disc just contains the movie for 4K.
Mm.
It has a new 4K transfer of the original 35mm original camera negative. It is presented in Dolby Vision. Disc 2, House is your Blu-ray, has a new 4K transfer of the original 35mm camera negative. Also, The Making of Death Becomes Her, featuring interviews with director Robert Zemeckis, writer David Coep, producer Steve Starkey, director of photography Dean Cundy, production designer Rick Carter, and special effects artist Lance Anderson and David Anderson. Vintage making of featurette, a photo gallery, and a theatrical trailer. And of course, this is in DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, and you have the original stereo soundtrack also.
Mm-hmm. So this is a huge upgrade for us because the one I had was still DVD format. I never upgraded. I guess because I knew deep down that they would do this one eventually in 4K.
And they did.
And they did, obviously. And obviously, so this was a huge upgrade for us. Mm-hmm. The only thing I have to nitpick was at the beginning of the movie, right after the whole marriage thing between Bruce Willis and Meryl Streep, and I mean, he has a 5 o'clock shadow. I mean, most men obviously do, but his 5 o'clock shadow looked green. Like, when I mean green, I mean like, see behind his movies up there, like that green from our paint, like it looked like that.
Like a decolorization.
Yeah, like it didn't look right, but then it was only in that beginning part of that scene, and after that you could still see his 5 o'clock shadow, but it wasn't like that. It was like a normal 5 o'clock shadow.
It kind of shifted more or less.
Yeah.
I did not catch that part, but like I said, this is not one of the movies I gravitate towards. Mm-hmm. I paid attention, I just didn't catch that part. Well, I didn't catch the Kurt Russell either, neither did she until the very...
So I read the little tidbits.
But I guess other than that,
that's pretty much
that's all for the...
Yeah. So how would you rate this movie?
Well, there's no new special features whatsoever.
No.
That kind of... I understand not getting anything from Bruce Willis because he's really gone downhill, unfortunately, with his health.
Yeah, but you have Meryl Streep. You have
Meryl
Goldie
Streep,
Hawn.
you have Goldie Hawn also. But
yeah.
It would have been nice to get like a new interview from Goldie Hawn.
Or even Meryl Streep.
I don't know about Meryl Streep. But
or even...
Robert Zemeckis could have came back and said something.
Yeah, what's her name? Isabella Rossini. Maybe her. Who's actually the one on the cover.
But I don't know. Maybe they couldn't get anything.
Maybe. But, or nobody wanted to come back, which is very possible.
Yeah, so, but Bruce Willis is understandable.
Yeah.
But transfer? What would you say?
I would say a 4.
4 out of 5?
4 out of 5. I mean, but I also am looking at from when I saw the DVD. I don't know how the Blu-ray looked, so I don't know how big of an upgrade that was from the Blu-ray to the 4K, but from the DVD to the 4K, that was a huge difference.
There's no use looking at the Blu-ray in here because it has the 4K scan.
Right.
Blu-ray came out before, obviously, we had the 1080, so
right.
But it would have upscaled, so
right.
It would have. But
I mean, the brightest part of the movie was the beginning of going to the theater. Like when he pans down and you have the theater lights before you actually physically go in.
It was white.
Yeah.
That
shined really well, but the rest of the movie not so much.
They ran about a little over 400 nits, so that's not very bright at all. There's some movies don't run 300. Some movies, and some movie runs 800. Right. Like I said, we go back to Hellfest. That movie ran over 800 nits during each scene. So you could really see the brightness in that from the beginning to the end of the movie.
Well, there wasn't a lot of bright in this either, so that does make a lot of sense.
A lot of times, Robert Zemeckis, though, a lot of his films are kind of
gloomy, dark, and dreary.
Yeah, but I would say I'd probably give it a 4. 4 out of 5. Now, special features, I would have to give a 1.
Because there's nothing new.
There's nothing new whatsoever.
I would agree with that.
You have nothing new at all. Sound, I would give the sound a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Because you had to crank this up a little bit.
You did.
In order to hear it. I wish they could have did a different type. The DTS was not loud whatsoever.
Like the music sometimes took over.
You could hear the music
much.
and like everything else, but that swallowed up the vocals up front. When Bruce Willis and all of them, he kind of talks low anyways.
He does. I mean, not with Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn definitely. Yeah. You could hear pretty much everything.
You had to crank it up a little bit in order to hear their voices properly without being like, what did they say?
Yeah. Isabella talks very low as well.
Yeah. But I assume it's the same. I can positively say it's the same exact format that they use in the Blu-ray and the DVD for as sound. I wish they would have updid that a little bit. I think they probably dropped the ball on this a little bit. I think it could have been done a lot better. It definitely could have been a little bit more work on the presentation in itself. It wasn't. It looked like it was kind of thrown together.
Okay.
Like they just didn't work on it enough.
Like they didn't have enough time with everything else coming out.
Enough time, or just didn't care to put it together. Like.
Okay.
I mean, compare this now. Poltergeist 2. Remember Poltergeist 2? That they did look great.
It looked really great.
And this was not. But I think they could have did a little bit more and made it a little bit more presentable. But that's my opinion.
Yep.
But overall, I would probably rate this with everything probably a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Because it takes down no special features. The sound you could hardly hear unless you really cranked it up more, which you shouldn't really have to.
Right.
We try to keep ours at a Pacific sound for Dolby Atmos and normal DTS or Dolby Digital or Dolby True HD, whatever we're working with. We try to keep it normal. Obviously, Dolby Atmos and DTSX gets a lot louder than them.
Yes.
But that's fine and dandy. We always leave it at the same one to try to determine how it sounds at the same level without having to crank it up and then have to sit there and really listen to try to figure out why we had to turn it up and that.
Right.
Then you got to go into all that. So that's what. But 2 out of 5 for me. This could have been done a lot better.
Okay.
But that's my opinion. No new special features. I mean, they could have got something. Even if it was just one interview, that would have been nice. But I thought it was very, very lazily done. The slipcover is very nice, and the disc, they're very nice. But transfer could have been done a lot better. And the sound definitely they could have tweaked it a little bit. But
okay.
What about you? Who you sticking with 4?
No, I would say a 3. Because, but that's again, this is from me coming from watching the DVD to that. I do agree with you that the 4K definitely could have been tweaked a little more. The sound definitely.
I didn't base it on this not being a movie that I really gravitate towards. I don't mind this movie. It's not just one of my favorite movies, but first time I watched it, I didn't really care for it.
Right.
We watched it again with this. I actually enjoyed it more because I like Goldie Hawn and I like Bruce Willis. I just don't like. I've put Meryl Streep out of my mind because I just don't really care for that woman that much.
He does not like her.
But that wouldn't base my decision on it. It was everything else that was involved within it.
Right, like the clothes for Goldie Hawn's character, I should say, because Goldie Hawn normally wore red or black.
The red really shined.
Yes.
Yeah.
And her hair looked really good. Yeah. But like Meryl Streep, and it kind of seemed like her hair was. I mean, her hair's like look white more than it should have been blonde, and her hair is actually more blonde.
Yeah. But I say a 2 out of 5. She got a 3 out of 5. We're not going to agree on everything every time. But would I recommend to pick this up day one? No.
I'd probably wait for a sale.
I would wait for a sale. most definitely. Unless you're a big fan of this movie,
I was like super excited when it came out because I love this movie.
then by all means pick it up day one. But I would wait because it's about $32. So $32.99 if I'm correct. But that's up to you. If it's your favorite movie, then by all means.
Right.
At least it comes with a slip. The slip's nice, but doesn't up my score any higher than what it is. But I would wait for a sale. Wait for a future sale. What do you think? Well, you would probably want a day one because it's
I
your
probably
favorite
want a
movie.
day one because I really enjoy this movie. This is like one of those movies I actually watched like with my mom, so it just kind of brings me back memories with her because she really loved Goldie Hawn. Like we both really love Goldie Hawn. So for me, I would buy it day one just for that factor. But I do see where you're coming from about picking it up when it's like on a sale. Just because of the transfer and no special features and the sound you had to crank up. Like, I can understand that.
That's our review on Death Becomes Her. Really in depth in this one. Didn't agree on it.
No.
Know what the movie's about. Got a recommendation whether you should pick it up or not. Sorry, Scream, you're not going to hit every single thing with me, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that could be any company, really.
Yeah. So, Arrow's going to get tore up here in a little bit. Once we get ready to do that review, they're going to be next.
Yes.
I was not very happy with that one either, but that is our review for Scream Shout Factory's release of Death Becomes Her, and this comes out next Tuesday. So if you're interested, let us know in the comments what you think, how you feel about whether you think you don't like our comments on how we feel about this. Let us know in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.